Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee. At the molecular level. Good morning, welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Nice, strong for a Monday morning. It's, I got it at Marshall's, like a monster bag of coffee. I think it's called like Cup of Joe or something like that. Made it in a percolator. Good flavor. I like it. I have to get back to roasting my own coffee. There's nothing like your own coffee roasted. Nothing like it. Well, let's get started here. Truth is always funnier than the Babylon Bee. I love this. This was a screenshot of Michelle Allison. If you know that anti-fatness has its roots in white supremacy, you start to understand this is not a story about a profession wanting to make fat people thin for their health. It's a story about social and political dominance wielded by a profession of mostly white women. How about, all right, so being thin and not wanting to be fat is a supremacist move? Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? Tell your doctor that. Tell that to your white doctor. You know, it's funny. Most of the people who are on that bandwagon are some of the most unhealthy people I know, because there was a time in my life when I was a chunky guy. And I didn't mind. I really didn't mind until, and I ignored my, I didn't go to the doctor for a long time. And I went, and I was strong, bench pressing a lot, in the gym, size extra large. But my lab work told a different story. What does the lab work of these fatties say? It's not good. Blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. How do I know? Been there. So what am I now? And I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody, because for a long time, I just went by what I saw in the mirror and I didn't mind it. I didn't care. I really didn't care. And I think a lot of times people have kind of like a death wish. It's what I call like passive suicidal ideation. Eating bad for a long period of time, or just not caring. Secretly way deep down inside, wishing that their life would end somehow, some way. I could be wrong. But I think that people who have this lifestyle, including myself, that I used to have, I really think it's passive suicidal ideation with obviously depression or discouragement, as I like to say. You become so discouraged with everything that you just say, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And then I woke up, and everything changed. I woke up. There are some sick people out there. Some really sick people. And you know what? Sick people want to make you sick as well. Say no to sick people. Here's some advice for young people. What are your thoughts on this? I took a screenshot of this. Advice for young people. 1, skip college. 2, learn a trade. I thought that was interesting when people first started saying that. I agree with it now, because you come out of college. College now is just kind of a rite of passage. You don't really learn how to do it. Can you imagine spending 4 years to learn how to do nothing, unless it's a STEM subject? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right? But most college courses, most college degree programs, you don't learn how to do anything. You don't come out with a skill, you come out with an attitude. So you paid money to be shaped. What a waste of time. And then, oh, I'll get my master's. And then you add another 2 years to it. And you prolong adolescence until you're 30 years old. Your parents and grandparents had kids by the time they were 22. Oh, but George, it's a different world. You're living in this old school idealism. You know what? It worked. It worked, didn't it? Learn a trade. That way, when you're done training, you know how to do something. Get married young. Yeah, I mean, do you really want to just, like, fuck your way through your 20s and 30s and then settle down? I don't want to say don't do what I did, but don't do what I did. I'm not speaking out of idealism here. I bear the mental, spiritual, emotional scars of just living a free life, disobedient to the Lord. And I'm not talking about being like a nun or a priest or a monk, that kind of thing. I'm talking about respecting yourself. Think about that. Get married young. I agree with that and I disagree with that at the same time. We could talk a lot about that. I just like to say, date long, marry slow, and if you're going to get divorced, divorce fast. Never, never drag that shit out. Never. Doesn't do anyone any good. And for men, save yourself, not the marriage. Save yourself, not the marriage. Never try to get her back, get you back. She did not leave you to become a nun, okay? If you take a woman back after she splits or wants to end the marriage, you're getting back super used merchandise. Seriously. In my crazy, disobedient years, some of the craziest sex was with women who were just out of a marriage, who felt like they were missing something. You could pose them like action figures. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. I'm ready for a new chapter in my life. Yeah. Now I want to live for me. Yeah, okay. You get posed like a G.I. Joe by a sex-hungry, undersexed, oversexed guy, turning your bedroom or hotel room or your car into a crime scene. I know what the heck I'm talking about here. Join a small biblical church. I like the whole biblical thing. I like the small thing. Mega churches, forget it, where they turn the lights down and all the different colored lights shining on the stage, and a guy with an untucked shirt playing guitar, and then at the end, every head bowed, every eye closed, no one looking around. If you want to accept Jesus as your personal Savior, folks, you don't accept Jesus. You don't accept Him. He accepted you. You don't have the power to accept anything. What do you think you're that? Do you think you're that strong and that powerful? Do you think you have it within you to go forward and accept Jesus? You think you got that within you? Boy, you have an inflated opinion of yourself. Last time I checked, people who are dead in sin can't make choices that are good for them. God gives you life so you can choose life. And that status was determined before the foundation of the earth. Jesus even said, I chose you, you didn't choose me. But we just kind of put that aside, don't we? If you're in a big church, get out of it. Get out of it. Get out of it. Seriously, it has become a corporate You know, I don't even think Jesus would recognize he's in a church if he walked into the modern big church. I just don't think that. I used to be a church growth kind of guy, church growth oriented. Men are not meant to spread their seed like damn farmers for the first 30 or 40 years of their life. You're not meant to do that. Okay? I know some people think that. I know that. The more evolutionary kind of people. Evolutionary science. Women will wait till the very end to have a baby, right before their eggs are gone. We are meant to reproduce young. And the reasons why we don't reproduce while we're young are the result of the culture. It's sad and it's unfortunate. And most people end up being secondhand merchandise, some more than others. So what do you do about it? You make a decision. Can you become a born-again virgin? No. No. Can you turn back the miles on the odometer? No. I just think that that's the effects of bad decision making that you have to live with. You can't come in for a save at the last minute. You know, like in a basketball game, in the last few seconds, someone just like throws the ball at the very last minute. That's what a lot of people are doing. They're having their fun and living their life. And even when people get divorced, I'm going to go live for myself now. I'm going to have fun now. Okay? All right. And men, be careful of women who are just divorced. Be careful of that. You're going to fall in love because she's going to give you great sex. And you're going to confuse that with love. Then she's going to dump your ass because you were just the transition man. Until she finds the right one. The next chapter of her life. Homeschool your kids. I agree. I used to not be a homeschooling fan. I am now. Catechize your kids. He's obviously Catholic, this gentleman. 8, date your spouse. I agree with that. Don't own a TV. Well, I would say if the TV is used for educational purposes, cool. And you can control what comes on it, cool. But having cable and just having propaganda pumped into your home, probably not a good idea. Again, this is me being the, what do they call that? Monday morning quarterback. And then go camping, he says, for number 10. There's no downside to camping. Going through a breakup or a divorce is the biggest life disruptor for a man. A small percentage of my professional coaching work is helping men regain themselves after this happens, this divorce thing, this breakup thing. Help them develop new direction and leave the past in the past and take lessons into the future so you don't make the same mistakes again. So how do I do that? I do it through one-to-one coaching in my coaching services. You text me, you email me, and most recently I started offering Marco Polo. In other words, you reach out to me through video, I reach back to you through video, in addition to the one-to-one coaching. And that seems to work for a lot of people. And that does, it triples the value of what I do. Sometimes issues can't wait until your next one-to-one session. And that being said, I like to say that any guy that I've ever worked with will attest to this, that one of the things that I say to him is this: I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And that's in contrast to a world that is not there for you. I only work with about 8 to 10 clients per week. And just reach out to me if you need professional coaching. It's not cheap, but neither is staying stuck and suffering and making the same mistakes over and over again. I like to say that I help people get unstuck in life, love, business, and career. So if that's something you need, just shoot me an email, gb@georgebruno.com. I posted something that I saw on Gab. A woman says, any confident, grown-ass woman needs to know how to be a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. A pair of breakaway handcuffs and some soft rope or a long necktie can be fun, but of course there needs to be trust and mutual respect. Surprisingly, I agree with her. I agree with her. After working with men for decades, professionally, the one question that all formerly married men pause the longest on is this. When I ask you, when did you lose your wife's respect? So many guys just stop at that question. Stop and think. And that's a sad question. And a guy can talk for hours on that if he's honest with himself. And I'm prepared to listen to that. But it's very humiliating to talk about when your wife lost respect for you. It's difficult to talk about that. That's one of the reasons why marriages end. People lose respect for one another. The wife loses respect for the man. Respect and love. Women want to be loved, men want to be respected, but everybody wants to be appreciated. Never forget that. Mr. Jones and me tell each other fairy tales, and we stare at the beautiful women. She's looking at you. Oh, no, she's looking at me. From the band Counting Crows in 1993. Did you like that song? That's the one song from that band that I really enjoy. Yeah, it was different when it first came out. I can't believe that's almost 30 years ago. A woman I know texted me this probably, 15 years ago. 15 years ago. This is what she wants a man to do. Protect more. Control me just a little. I think women have to be kept in line a little bit. That's interesting, isn't it? This is a woman who's very successful in business who told me that. I said, what's the secret to a happy marriage? And this is exactly what she replied. Control me just a little. Women have to be kept in line. I've been saying this for years. Lead your woman. Men, lead her, but you better have somewhere to lead her to, or you're going to be in trouble. It's not hard, it's just new. Don't confuse hard with new or different. Now, getting your leg gnawed off by a shark, that's hard. That's the same woman. Brilliant. Isn't that brilliant? Don't confuse hard with new or different. On Saturday, I put gas in the truck. It cost me $82 to fill up a Toyota Tacoma. I remember when I was filling up my car back when I had a car, and there was a guy with like a big SUV, like a Suburban or a Yukon or something like that, like on the other side of the pump. And he finishes pumping gas, and he looks at me and he goes, $80 to fill this thing up. I can't believe it. What does it cost to fill up a Suburban now, or a Yukon, like a big SUV now? It's got to be over $100. Because if my little pickup truck cost $82 to fill up, wow. They're really trying to get you to not drive your car, and they're pushing us towards electric vehicles. And there's a lot of hypocrisy in that. And don't think it's about the environment, it's about profit. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far as the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand, together we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find out what to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. Time to let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all, let's build a dream. Just admit that you're just a